So I have to be honest with you. I don't know the answers to all the questions sometimes when I get them. I have to think about them. And the question I have here is, how do we diagnose? I'm shrinking. My business is shrinking. How do we figure out what the problem is? And so I've sat here for a few minutes while the video crew waits on me, and I've jotted down some notes here about what I think I would do. So I think these are in order. If I'm trying to diagnose why a company is shrinking, the first thing I'm going to look at is their target customer. I'm going to recheck to make sure their target customer, one, that they actually have a target, and two, are they following through to try and speak to or market to that target. Not having a target customer sends people off the map all the time. Is your value proposition compelling? Or do you even have a value proposition? I look at websites all the time that there's no indication of value expressed whatsoever. Sometimes in your organization, you're not talking about value. So if you don't have a target customer, don't have a value proposition, these are concerns. Is outreach and marketing on target? I believe that marketing, business development, and sales, while they are separate things, they do work hand in hand. And your marketing has to deliver a message. It's got to be delivering it to the right target customer, right? It's got to connect your value proposition. So these three things together probably account for 70 or 80% of growth or lack of growth. Now, we get down into the weeds a little bit. Do I have the right messenger? Sometimes we're not putting the right people in front of customers. We're putting good transactional people, but maybe not good brand people. That's going to affect your growth. Prospecting. Are we softening the beach? Do we prospect to customers first, or do we presume they are predisposed to buy from us? And that's not a subtle difference. That's a pretty significant difference. If we're assuming that we're getting ready to write a proposal, then we have not slowed down and made sure that the customer has confidence or sees the credibility in what we're offering. So are we prospecting to customers? These are the same. Are you nimble? Are you clever? Cleverness is really hard to find, and so is nimbleness. I need to see companies that can move, that can transform themselves easily, that come up with ideas, that can react to unusual opportunities. It's hard to grow when sometimes your customers will bring you things that are off the wall. You need to be able to react to them and go after them. Do you take on too much or too little? Lack of growth often comes from, operational processes or mindset that says we're always too busy, so the brakes are always on. Sometimes I have sales mindsets that we're writing too many proposals, we're chasing too much business, and we're not executing well on any of that effort. And the last one I scribbled down here is, did you wander into the middle of the growth chart? So I did a video series last year on intentional success, and I talk about growth styles and growth strategies and how each of us have a logical growth strategy we could follow. And the mistake you can make is trying to do all the growth strategies at the same time, which means you fall into the middle of a 2x2 chart. Google or go to my website, Intentional Success. I've written articles about it. That chart is readily available. The video series is very, very helpful. But that's a big tool that I use in diagnosing my clients to understand why they are not succeeding and what we need to do to help them succeed more. So growth doesn't come from doing just one thing well. It apparently comes from doing a lot of things really well. So you better get started, right?